In this module, we're going to learn that why we need a MVVM or model view model pattern to make our Xamarin Forms application. Well, in normal Xamarin Forms application, the developers most often used XAML pages to write the XAML code for UI design and the code behind file to write all the logical code of that XAML page, like event handling, data models, services, navigations, and things like that. Well, this approach increases the size of the view, and it will also create a very strong dependency between the user interface and the data binding logic. So in this situation, no two developers can work simultaneously on the same view. One developer code change might break the other developer's code. Let's take an example. First of all, let me go to this main page. Well, this comes with two flavors, mainpage.xaml file and the main page code behind file. First of all, let's go to this main page, and there I'm going to add a button control inside this stack layout. Let's set the text property of this button to click me. Now let's create a click event of this button, and here you can see that this will take us to the code behind file of this main page. Alright, now in this clicked event, I'm going to add a display alert for displaying pop-ups and pass some parameters like title, message description, and cancel option. Now, I'm going to run this application on the Android device. Here you can see that our application is loaded into the emulator, and now if I press this button, then it will simply display this pop-up. Well, in normal Xamarin Forms application, we handle the event clicked in the code behind file. But in case of MVVM, handling the clicked event in the code behind file will break the MVVM rules. Also, you can see that this code is tightly coupled. And let's say we have two developers working on the same page. The one is working on this main page XAML file and the other on this code behind file of this main page. Now at some point, the developer who is working on this code behind file realized that he don't need this button clicked code, and he simply removed this code and then run this application. Now what happens here, this may throw an exception. Now let's put the code back there. So it means no two developers can work on this main page, because changing some code in the main page XAML file will break the code for main page code behind file, and same is the case for code behind file. I mean, changing anything in the code behind file will also affect the main page XAML file. In short, these two pages are tightly coupled and they are heavily dependent on each other. Also, let me go ahead with the navigations in Xamarin Forms. In order to move from one page to another in Xamarin Forms, we need to work with the navigations. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll just go to this Xamarin Forms project, and there I'm going to create a new content page. Just name this page to page 1. I'm just adding this page to explain you the concept of navigation. Later in this course, we will not use this page 1. Alright, so here I have added this page. Now let's add some text here inside this page 1. Alright, I'm going towards the main page. And there we need to introduce this functionality, and that is, if the user will tap this button, then we need to redirect the user towards the page 1. So all we need to do is just go to the event clicked of this button control. And there, first of all, let's get rid from this code. Then inside this event clicked, let's call navigation.pushAsync method. And this pushAsync method will take your page where you want to navigate. Let's say we want to navigate to the page 1 when we tap this button control. So let's pass the page 1 here. Alright, and the one last thing is that because we are going to move from one page to another, so we need to make our root page as a navigation page. All we need to do is just go to the app.xaml.cs file, and there inside the constructor of this file, let's set the main page to navigation page. Alright, now let's execute this application. And here inside the emulator, if we tap this button, then it will take us to the page 1. Alright, that's awesome. Now let me tell you that by using this approach, we can navigate from one page to another. But have you noticed that we have used the navigation code in the code behind file, which violates the MVVM principle? So we have to put this navigation somewhere else, not in the code behind file. Alright, just like that, we have some other things that we cannot write in the code behind file, like API services, dependency injection, data binding, etc. Don't worry about these things, because as we move forward in this course, we will cover everything with the explanation and the practical demonstration. Alright, in the next module, we will learn the architecture of MVVM or how MVVM works. So I will catch you in the next module.